We're 8 days into these new Raw and SmackDown rosters, and already I want to say, fuck you, WWE. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your April 18th SmackDown Live review. And I'm not excited about this show, guys. This is fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. There's some good things. We're gonna get to those good things, but as a whole, what the fuck are they doing with SmackDown? We recapped the shakeup last week, to break my heart one more time, and then the show starts with Charlotte. Yay! Now, I have to say, right off the bat, I always have to... Why? When I'm doing a video, why? Anyways, sorry, that properly threw me off my course. We start with the show with Charlotte, and yes, I understand. Charlotte has the pedigree. Charlotte has the lineage. Charlotte is a fucking amazing athlete, and technically in the ring, I can't take anything away from her. She's not as good a character as Alexa Bliss. I can take that away from her. But as a character and on the microphone, she's boring as sin. That hasn't changed. Put a blue coat of paint on her. It hasn't changed whatsoever. She comes out, she talks about the Queen's arrival on SmackDown Live like that's not already old. And then she immediately addresses Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, and she says, why is this taking so long? And it immediately breaks down. Her promo immediately breaks down into an entitled little brat temper tantrum. I'm the greatest star that's ever lived. I'm the greatest star in this ring. I should already be the #1 contender. And she cries and woos and squeals, and it's terrible. And if that doesn't make it worse, I'm sorry. There are only so many words for this opening segment. Naomi comes out, and she tries to be all hood, and she tries to, who you think you are? There ain't no queens around here, but there are champions. Like, get the fuck off my television. Charlotte, I hate to see you begging like this, so let's do this right here, right now. And they have a messy brawl. And I die a little inside. Shane McMahon comes out and says we're going to have a non-title match tonight to see if Charlotte gets a title match next week. So potentially 2 weeks in a row, we're going to get boring versus horrible. What the fuck has happened to my SmackDown women's roster? This is fucking garbage. They go back to their messy brawl, and we go to commercial break. We come back, and in Shane McMahon's office, there's Natty complaining about the chance that Charlotte got tonight. There's Carmella. She decides to chirp in. Ellsworth shows up to remind us that he's an idiot, and Tamina joins in, and they all just bicker until Natty says, hey, I've got an idea. The three of us should go ahead and solve all this, seeing as management's not going to do it for us. She gives Shane McMahon a dirty look, and they all leave. So it's like, awkward alliances are awkward. Natty, Tamina, Carmella, James Ellsworth. Why? We lost Mickie James. We lost my girl Alexa Bliss. Nikki Bella's healing and banging John Cena. This is what we have left. Where was Becky Lynch tonight? Where was Becky Lynch tonight? She's the only hope I have for this show now. Becky Lynch, by process of elimination, is the best thing on SmackDown. And then, for reasons, we have a 6-pack challenge for the #1 contendership to the WWE Championship. And you figure a match that's that important would be in the main event. But oh no, it's in the first match of the night slot. Now, I said that SmackDown got pillaged in the Superstar Shakeup. Nobody believes me. So let's look at who's fighting for the #1 contendership to the World Championship. Ziggler. Okay. Eric Rowan. Why? Mojo Rawley. Fuck why. At least we didn't have Gronk this week. That's a plus. Luke Harper. Okay. Sami Zayn. Okay. Jinder fucking Mahal. The walking wellness policy violation, Juicer Mahal, is in a #1 contendership match, but oh, promise me it gets so much better. Anyways, starts off with 3 brawls. This is a mess, so excuse my notes. Starts off with 3 brawls. Harper and Mojo, Zayn and Jinder, Rowan and Ziggler. Jinder and Mojo trade some punches for a while, and there's a gorilla press by Harper. Harper and Rowan trade blows for a while, and there's a senton by Harper. Michinoku driver by Harper. Sunset flip by Zayn. Ziggler and Zayn trade some finisher attempts for a while, and there's a super kick by Ziggler. Super kick and a lariat by Harper. Powerbomb by Rowan. Jinder takes down Harper and Rowan with some sort of weird tackle thing. Tackle by Mojo. Mojo and Zayn get dumped out to the outside. 2 Samoan dives. Or sorry, Samoan... No. My writing sucks, guys. I apologize. 2 suicide dives by Harper and a dropkick by Ziggler. Rowan power bombs Ziggler onto all 4 of the opponents that are standing outside the ring. That was a cool spot. I'll give him that. High knee by Jinder, a side slam by Rowan. Harper gets crotch, zigzag on Rowan, dropkick by Ziggler, sit out bomb by Harper. The sit out bomb by Harper is pretty damn good. Sorry, he does the sit out Batista bomb and the Michinoku driver quite well for a guy that size. Harper eats the steps, Jinder eats the post, suicide dive by Zayn, a tackle by Mojo, inside out moonsault by Zayn, followed by the corner exploder suplex. He's gonna go give the haluva kick, but then he gets tripped by 2 guys on the outside. The 2 guys on the outside, when you see the replay, are the fucking Bollywood boys that we haven't seen since the Dusty Classic in the CWC. Full Nelson Slam, and I can't believe these words are coming out of my fucking mouth, folks. On SmackDown, the #1 contender for the World Championship is Jinder fucking Mahal. No, I'm fully going to let that sink in with you guys for a couple seconds, because that's fucked. Orton comes out. He congratulates Jinder. He tells him he won the jackpot, but you don't get to win the prize. You just get an RKO. And then he, for the rest of his promo, he completely ignores Jinder Mahal, like the fucking jobber that he is, goes on to address Bray Wyatt, and basically cuts a promo about what we all know already, that nobody knows what the fuck a House of Horrors match is. And then we get Wyatt on the Titantron, saying a bunch of stuff that basically amount to nothing will compare to what happens to you at the House of Horrors. Sorry, guys. Nothing will compare to what you walk through at the House of Horrors, and you will not walk out. So do we know what the House of Horror match is? Fuck no. Promo for the New Day, because they're coming soon. Highlight package on Shinsuke Nakamura is nice. Styles in the back cutting a promo, because he's the #1 contender to the United States Championship after 2 Canadians fight over it. He says he doesn't care who the champion is, and then he runs into Corbin, and basically they bicker about the triple threat match from last week. And AJ says, well, if you are so hot to trot that I didn't beat you, how about we do it again tonight? And yeah. And tell me why AJ Styles is still a heel, because he's not. Natty, Tamina, and Carmella confront Charlotte in the back on her way to the ring, and then we get Charlotte versus Naomi, as I dubbed it before, boring versus bullshit. Naomi looks like Predator on drugs. I'm just going to put that one out there. But there's a collar and elbow tie-up, a forearm and a mud hole by Charlotte, hair beal by Charlotte, a snapmare and another headlock. Some sort of sloppy tackle by Naomi, who fucks up a pinning reversal sequence, something rotten. A takedown by Charlotte, figure 4 headlock that she rolls over and turns into that figure 4 headlock facebuster thing that she does. Rolling headlock takeovers by Charlotte, a mud hole, a hip attack, another takedown, and another headlock. Naomi sits on Charlotte's face. For reasons. They have a chop battle, and then you get say it loud and say it proud, the bullshit no actual contact dance kicks from Naomi, and then she botches a head scissor spot that makes them both land outside very unsafely and awkwardly, because yeah, Naomi's safe. Dragon Sleeper by Charlotte and a leg drop, backdrop by Charlotte, knee drops and a snake eyes, and then Charlotte pulls off this move. I don't understand it, because Seth Rollins isn't allowed to do the curb stomp anymore, but what Charlotte does is basically the curb stomp, except instead of stepping on the back of Naomi's head, she does it with the cap of her knee, which makes me smile a whole fucking lot. Naomi tries to come back with this botched stunner neckbreaker looking thing, and then if you wanted to win me over, if you wanted to turn the tide with me and make me a fan of Charlotte, here you go. Naomi tries for the flying chocolate camel toe of death that we all love so much, and instead Charlotte says fuck that and kicks her in the fucking spine. Oh yes, natural selection, Charlotte gets the win. She gets a title shot next week. The only downside of that is I have to see Naomi on my screen again. This was a great match, thanks to Charlotte. Naomi, fuck off. Yes, oh yes. The Shining Stars, aka Primo and Epico Cologne versus American Alpha because of the attack last week. Now, they've got their Shining Stars attire on. They come out with new music. They're introduced as Primo and Epico Cologne. Their graphics and all that shit say Primo and Epico Cologne, but they still fight like the Shining Stars, which is great, and they're facing American Alpha, so they should get squashed, right? Gable and Primo start. There's a tackle and some cross faces by Gable. Jordan works the arm. There's an arm drag and a suplex by Gable. Gable eats the post. Butterfly Gutbuster by Epico, I will admit, was fucking nice. Snapmare by Gable. Clothesline by Epico. Hanging armbar by Gable. Hot tag to Jordan, who has suplexes for everybody. Gable tosses out Primo, and Epico pins Jordan out of nowhere. That's right, folks. The tag team, formerly known as Los Matadors, formerly known as the Shining Stars, currently, I guess, going by their real names, just pinned American Alpha. Questionable decisions everywhere. There's a Dillinger video package, which is nice. Kevin Owens versus Gary Gandy in the Face of America Open Challenge. It's a squash. Kevin Owens cuts an anti-American promo, which is the second anti-American promo of the night. I didn't mention Jinder Mahal's anti-American promo because go back, look at Daivari, look at Muhammad Hassan, look at, any stereotypical Indian character that they've ever had in the WWE that has had something bad to say about America. Copy, paste, give it steroids, it's Jinder Mahal. Oh yes! Corbin versus Styles is your main event, and I will say this was a pretty decent match, and I'm saying decent, not good. Owens is still on commentary because he just decides to stick around. Owens' entrance, I will say this too, because he's doing this whole I'm Canadian but I'm the US champion, I'm gonna rub it in everybody's face, his entrance, Titantron and Rampway and all that sort of thing, all the typical like flashy black and red stuff that Owens usually has on his Titantron during his entrance, that's pretty generic if I can be honest, has been replaced by these red, white, and blue. They kind of look like political placard type colors, and the walkway that he's walking down, he is walking on his own face, which is magical. Corbin versus Styles for reasons. Collar and elbow type and a series of kicks by Styles. Mudhole by Corbin and more strikes by Styles. Backpack sleeper by Styles, who's tossed out by Corbin. Snake eyes on the apron by Corbin, and he goes back to riding the headlock once he gets a halfway lifeless AJ Styles back in the ring. Corbin tosses Styles midsection first into the post from the inside of the ring. So under the bottom turnbuckle, belly first to the turnbuckle, which looked like he might have missed it by a little bit because he looked like he was in a lot of pain after that. Corbin stomps on the knees. It's not just a mudhole stomp, it's a stomp to the knee joints. If you got somebody that's a high flyer like AJ Styles and you want to work on the legs, work on those damn knees. They trade some jabs and some forearms, and Corbin eats post shoulder first on the outside. Pele by Styles, corner forearm by Styles. Choke slam over the knee by Corbin is really nice. Boot and a calf crusher by Styles. Deep six by Corbin. Corbin tosses Styles into Owens at commentary. Corbin is then tossed himself into the WWE Universe. And Styles barely makes it back into the ring for a very babyface countout victory. And that's how we end the show. AJ Styles turning face is not the worst thing in the world, I will say. If he's going to be in that John Cena spot until John Cena comes back, I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. You need to establish a dirty, dastardly heel. You need a Samoa Joe on your show. You need an Alexa Bliss back on your show. You need Tommaso Ciampa when he's a singles guy on your show. But yeah, there's so many questionable decisions. AJ Styles going face. Boring versus bullshit in the women's division versus that little cluster of all the other women that nobody cares about. Jinder fucking Mahal is the World Championship #1 contender. I can't say anything other than that. I really, really can't. Anyways, this has been your SmackDown review, and I, of course, am Spaz Phoenix. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am tagging out, and Jesus Christ, get better next week.